You know what shocks me though, that the left, all this mainstream media, they haven't learned their lesson. They've been to the Super Bowl election twice and they've lost. They're using the same plays, racist, this. And by the way, whose job is he taking? Lloyd Austin, who not only he had prostate surgery for cancer. He didn't report it. He didn't do nothing, which is a complete violation. That's a horrible chain of command mess up. And by the way, under Lloyd Austin, the military's faced 25% recruitment shortfall, record low, dangerous distractions like DEI. And I think Hegseth is, I don't think he said it, but somebody mentioned that he's going to come in the Pentagon and remind the Pentagon that it's about killing America's enemies, not freaking DEI and all this nonsense that's happening.
What is up, everyone? Today we are diving into the left's latest tantrum. In this clip, Vincent Oshana and the PBD team go to bat for Pete Hegseth, who's under fire for what? Being unapologetically patriotic, experienced, and willing to call out the rot in our military. The attacks on him are as lazy as they are desperate. You'll see how the left loves to scream racist and extremist when their policies fail, and oh boy, have they failed. Let's expose the hypocrisy, destroy the narrative, and have some fun doing it. Let's get into it.
The Secretary of Defense nominee, Pete Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
What's the other clip you got, Rob? Because this was fantastic. Do you have a better one? Let's look at this one here.
He's also under fire for some of his tattoos depicting religious symbols and phrases that fellow service members flagged to his superiors over concerns they're associated with white supremacists. Hegseth saying those concerns amount to anti-Christian bigotry, posting, "They can target me, I don't give a damn. But this type of targeting of Christians, conservatives, patriots, and everyday Americans will stop on day one at Donald Trump's Department of Defense." Hegseth's post notably not disavowing the supremacists who have adopted the symbolism, though he has in the past.
Now, here's a question. When you guys are done with your shows, and you're in the locker room changing, you're showering, shirts off, and you see the tattoos, what do you think about his tattoos?
So as we're going through this clip, be sure to leave your opinion and thoughts down in the comments below. This is a place for discussion. Also, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Let's get back into it.
Let me say this first of all. Okay, Pat, you have done this. Tom, Vinny. People in TV often say, "This is my friend, this is my friend." And the truth is, it means little more than I'm friendly with that person, okay? So I'm going to be upfront with your audience. I'm upfront with my audience. I have this belief that do not feign objectivity where it doesn't exist. You have to start your relationship with an audience with the truth. And the truth is we have biases. Here's the truth. I'm not objective on Pete Hegseth, okay? I have a bias. He is a real friend of mine, not a TV friend. I have said, when I'm done here on this planet, I want him to be one of the guys that carry my casket. Now, because I'm not objective, though, or that I have a bias, doesn't mean I'm wrong. Because of this, I know the truth about Pete Hegseth. And this is an incredible, incredible man with the right values, a flawed man who's made mistakes in his life, but a good man who wants to live up to his values and has principles and dearly loves the United States of America. This tattoo issue is nothing short of defamatory. And I'm waiting for the army of lawyers to start attacking the mainstream media for what, look, I'm an attorney. I went to law school. For a public figure, the standard is malice or reckless disregard for the truth. That is malice. That is malice. Look, the picture you're showing right now, okay, that picture is when Pete is swimming across the Hudson River, 3 miles, with 100 Navy SEALs. I've done it twice with him on national television, on Fox and Friends. We air this swim. If that is some type of white nationalist symbol, why would he be blaring it across the news channel to a national audience? Millions of people watch.
Exactly. This is where the logic crumbles. The left wants you to believe Pete Hegseth is some kind of secret extremist while he's out here swimming across the Hudson River with Navy SEALs on live TV. This is about intimidation, plain and simple. And the left can't handle strong, outspoken leaders like Hegseth who reject their victimhood narrative. So they try to silence him with baseless accusations, hoping people won't look deeper. And people are definitely looking deeper.
That's the Jerusalem cross. That is a cross that's been used since the Crusades, since 1096. It's still used in Bibles. And I think he's right. For them to attack that right there as white supremacists is nothing short of defamatory, not just towards Pete, towards historical literacy. exposing yourself as an idiot and towards Christians.
You would assume these guys that claim they went to the best schools would know what the meaning of that is, and then they come out and criticize it. I mean, look, we had him on, and we had a great time with him. You know, you remember when he was on. It was a great conversation, very entertaining, fun, straight up, but also military guy. You want a guy to be tough, experienced. A lot of times, these folks don't realize that. What's his resume, by the way? He's got 2 bronze medals.
2 bronze stars.
2 bronze stars. He's got
combat infantry badge.
If you can
3 deployments.
3 deployments.
Helping veteran. He's an all-around stud.
So it's not like we're talking about somebody that hasn't. Now, by the way, I mean, to be fair with everybody, you get the job. Now you got to go prove yourself.
Yeah.
You know what shocks me though, that the left, all this mainstream media, they haven't learned their lesson. They've been to the Super Bowl election twice and they've lost. They're using the same plays, racist, this. And by the way, whose job is he taking? Lloyd Austin.
This is classic projection, folks. They're losing because they focus on everything except results. Under Lloyd Austin, the military's seen a 25% recruitment shortfall, a record low morale, and ridiculous distractions like diversity quotas. Meanwhile, Pete Hegseth represents a return to competence, accountability, and strength, and that's why they're scared. They know he's going to clean house and put the focus back on defending America, not coddling feelings.
Who not only he had prostate surgery for cancer, he didn't report it, he didn't do nothing, which is a complete violation. That's a horrible chain of command mess up. And by the way, under Lloyd Austin, the military's faced 25% recruitment shortfall, record low, dangerous distractions like DEI, and I think Hegseth is, I don't think he said it, but somebody mentioned that he's going to come in the Pentagon and remind the Pentagon that it's about killing America's enemies, not freaking DEI and all this nonsense that's happening.
You know, I'm going to say it reminds me, but it's an actual playbook. So if we're being fair, they're pointing to 2 tattoos. This is one of them.
Yeah.
The other is Deus Vox. It's God wills it, which Pete has on his bicep, which is Latin and another phrase that's been around forever. Pat, you and I have talked. You remember me from ESPN. I'm going to tell you a situation that happened when I was at ESPN that this reminds me of. It's the OK symbol. Do you remember the OK symbol controversy? So kids play the circle game, which looks like the OK symbol, right? It's been around forever. And they attacked several different groups for this, but one of them was a graduate class at West Point, who they get a picture taken, and kids play the circle game. If I can get you to look at the circle, then I can punch you or whatever. A guy did it at the Cubs game behind Harold Reynolds, if you'll remember. And Theo Epstein, then GM of the Cubs, said he ran cold. His spine went with chills. That Wrigley Field was filled with white supremacists. They turned something benign to 99% of America, right? The OK symbol, into a sign of white supremacy because they found some internet rabbit hole crazy theory where someone had done it and associated it with white power. What they're doing is taking longtime symbols, in this case Christian symbols, and turning them into white supremacist.
This is bigger than just Pete Hegseth. It's a deliberate strategy to discredit anyone who doesn't fit the left's narrative. If you can label someone as problematic with zero evidence, you don't have to engage with their ideas or achievements. This is simply intellectual laziness. They've run this play so many times that it's starting to backfire. People are waking up to the fact that these attacks are nothing more than noise.
And that is not only, I do think, Tom, actual malice and defamatory, but
I agree.
It's dishonest, it's knowing what they're doing, and it's just crap reporting. Horrific reporting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not working. What is important to look at this picture here, the peak on his biceps looks pretty good. So listen, Pete, if you're watching this, very impressive.
Very impressive.
Good for you.
He's definitely turning the wrist with the curly curls at the end.
But no,
Those
again,
baseball biceps.
Look, I mean, the model is no longer working. Peter Thiel was on Barry Weiss, a great podcast they did. He said, the last time identity politics worked was in 2008. It hasn't worked since 2008.
2008?
Obama. He's saying Obama. And here's why he said it worked in 2008. He made such an interesting point. He said the reason why identity politics worked in 2008 was because Obama could go up there and saying, I'm the black person you've been waiting to vote for. And then he can go and says, I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, straight, gay, and then he would go to... And the reason why he could get away with it in 2008 was because social media wasn't yet at a point where things would go instant and you'd be held accountable. Like what Kamala did in 2024, going up there and speaking different language, with the accents, and then going up there and talking to Muslims and saying this, and then going to Jews and saying that. Obama got away with that in 2008. She couldn't get away with that in 2024. These strategies haven't worked. They have to completely change it up. And one of the questions that was asked is, you know, Barry asked the question saying both Oprah Winfrey and Elon Musk made the same comment. If 2024, this could be the last election, if Trump wins.
Think about this for a second. When both Oprah and Elon Musk are sounding the alarm about what's at stake, you know it's serious. The difference is, Musk points out to how woke policies are eroding our institutions, while Oprah sticks to vague fear-mongering. This isn't about Trump or Kamala. It's about whether America will double down on failure or embrace a real course correction. Obviously, we now know the outcome, but the stakes were extremely high.
This could be the last election we have in America. Oprah said that. Musk said, if Kamala wins, this could be the last election we have. And she said, what do you think about that comment? Because as a person, you can't like a comment like that. It's too threatening. He says, you know, the first time Musk said it, I was like, look, I don't know if I'm with you or not. He said, the more and more we went through it, the more I realized Musk was kind of right. Because if Trump would have lost this election 2024, they would have said 2016 was a fluke and Trump got lucky. But because Trump won 2024, now they get to say 2020 was a fluke. And Biden got lucky.
Yeah.
It was such a profound moment. Meaning, now what took place? Guess who lost all credibility in the room behind closed doors when everybody's waiting to see what he and she have to say? Guess who they are?
Is
Barack Obama and Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.
This is such a powerful point. The left's former figureheads, Obama, Michelle, and even Hillary, have lost their grip on the narrative. Why? Because their strategies and rhetoric don't work anymore. They've overplayed their hand with identity politics, smear campaigns, and fear-mongering. Meanwhile, leaders like Hegseth are resonating because they focus on solutions and strength instead of victimhood and division. That's the shift we're seeing, and it's only going to grow.
You used to sit in a room and you'd say something Schumer, you'd say something Pelosi, you'd say something Hillary, you'd say something Bill, you'd say something, everybody's like, Brock, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
The last one you go to, right? And I was like, hey, you guys just go live at your Martha's Vineyard type of stuff.
The attacks on Pete Hegseth are nothing new. It's the same tired playbook the left pulls out whenever they feel threatened by someone who challenges their narrative. But this time, it's not working. Americans are waking up, rejecting the noise, and rallying behind leaders who stand for something real. Pete isn't just fighting for himself, he's fighting for the values that make this country great. And I think a lot of people, especially with the results we've seen recently, I think he's winning. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of the points made here, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.